Welcome back to SEN Gold Coast coverage of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Thanks to Mate and Zero. I've been looking forward to this chat all day. Our stars at home, the Hockey One League. Time to talk hockey with Mark Knowles. It's been an emotional roller coaster ride since we last spoke. Mark, good afternoon to you.
G'day, Mark. How are you, mate?
Oh.
Certainly has. You've hit it on the head there with the emotions.
I can't believe we watched the men beat the Netherlands in that shootout, and then we watched the Hockeyroos beaten 1-0 by India, where they just could not convert a penalty corner. Where would you like to start?
Oh, mate, let's start with the Hockeyroos. Very, very tough day yesterday for the girls. I think for all Australians watching, whether you're supporting the Hockeyroos, Kookaburras or both, it was devastating. It was heartbreaking. To watch, to see the girls put in all of that effort, all of the hard work through the rounds. And then, the quarterfinals, we said it, a couple of days before, and I've said it before, the quarterfinals are another beast. They're another level. They're another step. And there's a lot of pressure, and I reckon a number of those factors played a part yesterday.
Yeah, Mark, look, I'm no expert, but I've watched a bit of sport in my time. It just looked like at stages there, the Hockeyroos were looking around to see someone else, waiting for someone else to do something rather than all pitching in together and standing up and taking the Indians on.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a part of it. I mean, I was involved in 2016 in a team that would have looked very, very similar to that match. I think there's a bit of, fatigue, certainly.
Yeah.
That was their sixth match in 8 days. There was certainly, people looking around thinking, maybe I don't want to make the mistake instead of taking the game on and really owning the performance. And I think, just with the Hockeyroos, they just lacked that little bit of leadership. We've talked about this for a little bit, but just a number of girls, how they could have stood up, who could have, really grabbed the ball by the horns there and said, this is my field, this is our game, this is our team, and jump on my back. That's something that you just don't get that in a couple of months. This takes a long time. I think certainly a number of the Hockeyroos girls will learn a lot out of the experience, and some of them will find this very hard for a number of years, like I did.
Yeah, absolutely. And mate, the fact that I got a sore neck looking left because in the second half all the play was down India's end. One penalty corner they score, and I don't think we had to make a save in the second half.
No, we didn't. No, Rach could have taken her gear off, couldn't she?
Yeah, in that heat particularly.
Did very, very well for 75 yards of the field and just couldn't put that finishing touch on. And I think that's what happens in the big games. You've got to put away your chances. The girls had a number of penalty corners, and for anybody who just watched the men's semi-final today, Belgium-India, you get the Belgium Alexandra Hendricks. That's his 14th goal of the tournament from penalty corners, and Belgium win the semi-final 5-2 over India.
Yeah, it was 2-2 there for quite some time, and they kicked away there in that second half. And that's the thing, isn't it, in these big tournaments in the Olympics, when the big moments happen, you want your big players to step up too.
You do, yeah, and that's what all the practice is for. That's why we put so much emphasis on, the technical skills, so much emphasis on big moment play, big moment players. And certainly, India with the one corner yesterday in the goal, Hockeyroos let their chances slip. And in the men's comp, it's been exactly the same. You only have to look at the Kookaburras Dutch, stats in that, in that tournament for the Dutch. They were 2 from 26 corners in the tournament for a country that is renowned for being penalty corner experts. They just couldn't do it when it really counted, and you're out in the quarterfinals, and that's the hardest part. 5 years it's gone in a day.
Yeah, absolutely. And 5 straight wins for the Hockeyroos. That was only the second goal they conceded in the tournament. They're out. But anyway, that's the downside. We now take a deep breath and we get ready for tonight. The Kookaburras against Argentina. The way they won over the Netherlands, you've been in that environment, Mark. What does that do to the mindset of players to know that they can pull a game out of the fire when it really counts?
No, it's absolutely massive. Cookers Germany tonight. We review our rivalry with the Germans.
Did I say Argentina? Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. No, that's okay. That will give the boys a lot of confidence. But honestly, I believe that they will be much better for that performance. For me, there's a psychological factor around the quarterfinals of not wanting to be that team that doesn't get a chance to play for a medal. I think that's far more daunting than playing in a semi-final. And I actually think our guys will be a lot better for that performance. Going through as the number one team in the world, undefeated in the round games, all of those things would have played a part in the, in the approach and the mentality of the players. And now they're through that, and they get to renew a German rivalry that has spanned absolutely some amazing matches over the last 20 years. And I reckon this group's ready.
Yeah, there's too many sports going on. Australia play Argentina in the basketball, in the men's
Basketball. They are.
There you go. Now, mate, what are the strengths of the Germany? Where do their strengths lie?
Tactically, very, very astute. They are prepared to play multiple different structures in a game. They're very, very prepared to play a slow game that frustrates opposition teams. And I think in years gone by, they've been able to beat teams with their ability just to slow the game and play it boring, play it slow, and really, take the flow away from opposition teams. I think the Cookers are better prepared than we've ever been before. Coaching staff, as I said, of Colin Batch, Rob Hammond and Anthony Potter have this group primed to play multiple different structures, to play multiple speeds, and I think you need that. You need a plan B in the Olympics, and the Cookers have got that.
Does the 10 o'clock time tonight, does that benefit anyone at all? Or the 8 o'clock time,
no.
being at night time, does that benefit anyone?
It probably benefits the Aussies. They'll play a little bit quicker. Germany wouldn't have liked the midday game again, but I think it allows the Aussies to play even quicker, even more power. I think the other part is that both of these teams play the early quarterfinals, so they've had a really nice prep. They've had a day and a half, 2 days off nearly, and that's the first time they've had a proper break this whole tournament. So I think they'll come in really fresh. Would have given guys that have played those 6 matches a real chance to freshen up, and from everything that's coming out of the camp, they'll be really ready for this match tonight.
What do the Kookaburras have to do well to win?
A couple of things. You've got to take your chances on penalty corner attack. That's absolutely huge, and we have 2 very big weapons, but you've got to be able to do it in big moments. And Germany is renowned for being a very good penalty corner defensive team with their runners. So the Cookers will have to be on top of their game for corners, as we saw with Belgium this morning. They need to take care of the key players. So Germany have a couple of absolute world-class match winners. Christopher Ruhr, Florian Fuchs are 2 of their absolute stars. And they can change a game in a minute. If we're watching tonight, they might not touch the ball for 15, 16, 17, 20 minutes. And then a couple of minutes to go, they'll get the ball and run from halfway, or have the potential to, and change the game. So the Cookers have to be alive at all times in their defensive half. And I just think the other part that will get the boys over the line is just beautiful ball movement, beautiful flow, some nice connections up forward, and I think that will outwork, and that ability will outplay the Germans. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, mate, look, as I mentioned at the start, it's been an emotional roller coaster the last couple of days, and I reckon tonight, through those 4 quarters, we're going to have highs and lows, and we're just shouting and screaming as we try and urge the Kookaburras on to get through to the next stage and maybe get some redemption. But we won't go too far ahead. We'll just deal with Germany tonight.
No, I agree, mate. This is a beautiful place to be. As I said, I had the opportunity of playing in 3 Olympic semi-finals, one very good one and 2 very bad experiences. I think this team is very well prepared. I think they come in knowing that they're good enough and knowing that they're playing well enough. And I think they've got over that hurdle of the quarterfinals, which I do believe is a bigger threat than a semi-final now. The old days when I played and there was the semis, semis were always the nervous one because you didn't want to lose the semi to not get a chance of the final. That has now changed to the quarter. And I think the semis, this will be much more open, much more free-flowing, and I think we'll see a higher level of skill from the Cookers tonight. So 8 o'clock, cannot wait.
We wish them well, mate. We wish them well. We wish them well. And Belgium awaits in the final after their win over India earlier today. We'll chat tomorrow. Hopefully we're smiling, mate, and enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks very much, Mark. Chat tomorrow, mate.
Good on you, mate. Mark Knowles there. See our Stars at home in the Hockey One League. Tickets at hockey1.com.au.